Hello, and thank you for joining me on Radiant Mom Rising podcast. Today I'm doing things a little differently, and I am coming on here to hold space for myself. Some of you may already know this, some may not, but I live in Morganton, North Carolina, and we recently were hit with Hurricane Helene. And I just would like to come on here and talk about it. This is a show that is meant to inspire and uplift moms. And part of our journeys is being able to do what we need to for ourselves. And I feel like for me, it has been nonstop since this situation happened. And I haven't really had time to process everything, let alone just take time for me. And so I really want to share, first of all, like my own personal story with it. Obviously, there are so many people who've been impacted by this and such devastation that is really hard to talk about. It's been very devastating to find out what's going on. Some of it's really hard to talk about. So I remember waking up Friday morning and hearing it storming outside. And, at that time, we were thinking we are just having a tropical storm, nothing outside of some rain, maybe a little flooding. And I remember going out there with the kids, getting them ready, and looking outside and just seeing the winds and being like, it looked like we were in Florida, you know, the kind of weather they get. I remember praying and being like, Lord, please do not let these trees fall on our home. We have pretty tall trees in the back of our yard that would definitely hurt. Our home, if not us, if it were to fall. I also remember praying that our gazebo wouldn't fly off because we had just replaced that one after losing the other one from a previous storm, not even a month before. And luckily, his parents had one that they weren't using and were able to let us have. So it was a blessing. But in that moment, it's crazy. The weather sounds awful. It looks scary outside. Winds are blowing insane. Power goes out. Not surprised, but I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna dwindle and our power will be on, a couple hours from now. We've kind of seen weather like this, but not like as long as this one lasted, and then not as severely as this one became. So what's crazy is, as this is unfolding, even when the storm finally stopped, like the winds didn't really stop, the rain finally stopped. We remember looking outside and seeing our elderly neighbors across the street had two fallen trees in their yard. And we see them outside assessing the situation. And my husband, of course, was like, we can't just not help. So he gets stressed. He gets my older son, and they go over there and they help cut the tree up. And even some other neighbors come outside and see them working and they jump in and help. And they get the tree cleared off in the neighbors. So, but, for the most part, we're just thinking at that time still that, it's just a typical crazy storm that happened and our power will be out on no time. And it wasn't too long after that that all the stories started coming in, all the news started coming in. And we realized this was not just some tropical storm. We just ran through a hurricane. It just hit us majorly. And even within that, we knew that it was dangerous and risky to drive. They recommended to stay inside unless you absolutely had to get out. But, his parents lived about 35, 40 minutes away and they had power and we decided to risk it. They said that they knew that some of the people were able to get around the roads in their area and 40 was already on it as far as clearing some of the trees and debris off of I-40. So, after a couple hours passed, we decided before it got dark that we were going to go on out there. We carried our chainsaw, carried gasoline just in case we did run into a situation where there were trees in front of the road and we needed to get out and clear it. We got our kids up because we were like, we're just not going to let them sit here in a no, with no power for a night. And we went on to his parents' house. And honestly, I'm so grateful looking back now that we got that time because, first of all, this was their first time. So that night, we decided to, me and my husband asked if the kids could stay with them, and they were like, yes. It was their first time spending the night with their grandlove and Papa Joe, which was awesome. And I love that I have kids that I can do that with who, were well behaved and even though they're in a place they've never stayed overnight, they were good. They listened and, we were able to come back here and check in on our dogs. And me and my husband decided to stay and we played card games and just hung out. And, it was really hard sleeping. We're used to having background noise with a TV and fans. So it was a little challenging sleeping that night. But, even then, I remember thinking, like, our power's going to come back on soon, surely. Well, the next day is when we find out that they're estimating it could take 5 to 7 days for the power to come back on. And we got even more news about businesses being completely underwater, houses completely underwater, and it was even more devastation. And when we found out about the landslide off of I-40 towards Asheville, which is not that far away from us, I was blown away because it's like, what? What's happening? This has never happened here in this area before. We don't get hurricanes. Like, what? It was so surreal. And it still kind of is. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think we all are still realizing just what has happened to our area here in Western North Carolina. And there's still so many people out there missing, so much uncertainty. Blue Ridge Parkway is closed indefinitely at this point, and I can't imagine. I mean, if you saw the damage and the road's gone, you'd understand. And even I-40, like that is crazy to see that is an interstate we've driven on many times is just gone. And so, we decided, okay, wow, we can't lose all of our food. And we had so much. And groceries, as everyone knows, is extremely expensive these days. To have to replace everything is awful. So we asked his parents if we could bring as much as we could. So we grabbed some essentials, loaded it up, and came back. And we ended up spending the night with the kids there that night. And then into the next day, we decided to, you know, come back here and figure out what we're going to do with the dogs and see how we could work it out if we need to stay with them for a couple days. We came to save whatever else, whatever food we could that was left over. We came and packed everything up. And then we find out after we get back there that we got power back. So after loading everything up and moving everything and the, planning and packing as if we're going to stay for a couple days, we realized, oh no, we actually did get power back. Internet and service was not back at this time. So when you got into Morganton, you were dead to the world. Nobody could reach you, but we at least had power. And we certainly didn't want to take up and intrude on our in-laws. So the thing about that though is she loved it. She loved having us. She said it was such a blessing and that means the world to me because you never want to feel like you're intruding in someone's space. So it was awesome that it worked out. But I also had a mom who lives 10 minutes away who had no power and nobody. And I didn't want her to be by herself. And knowing that we had power now where we could save her food if we could, my ultimate goal was to make sure she was okay. And so we came back here. I told my mom, look, we have power. Come back to our house. We had the announcement that the water was not clean. The water tower was completely underwater. They didn't know. They were using a temporary pump at the time. So they said, still conserve your water, but also boil your water. It's not safe to drink. So we're sitting here trying to deal with all this and unpack and get back over here and help my mom get over here. And she ended up not getting her power back until Thursday of that week. So she went days of coming back and forth to work and coming back and staying with us. I was so happy to be able to do that for her and save whatever we could of her food. And it was nice. We got to spend that time with her. I loved having her hair. The kids loved having her hair. So it was like, it was also amidst all this tragedy and devastation that was unfolding around us and knowing what people are going through and what they've lost, it was so nice to see the community stepping up and people donating, people helping, people giving. And so I asked for help because I wanted to use what I could. Like anyone who donated, I wanted to be able to help and give back because I knew our government. I knew they wouldn't help, and they haven't. They've been shitty as crap with giving to their own people. Our government sucks. They don't really care about us. They don't really help us, and they don't really show up for us when we need it most. And that's so sad. But I'm not really surprised, but it's a shame. However, thankfully, some amazing people in this world are really trying to help. I know they've been trying to prevent Elon Musk from helping, which is ridiculous. I know some civilians who have talked about their companies trying to come to give from Florida, even, and they were turned away from FEMA. So, thank you for all you amazing people who have risked your lives and are out there trying to help others. And that's what we should be doing. And I have to say, that's been my favorite thing to see is the community standing strong. Everybody stepping in, helping to clean out houses, helping to donate what they can. I have gone through all of our closets. I have gathered everything that I could, clothes, shoes, diapers, whatever I can find to give away to help out anyone in need who have lost everything because I get it in my own way, you know, and gosh, 2017 it was. Oh my God, it's been that long. It has been just years ago. We lost a house to a fire. So I know what it feels like to lose everything in a moment. And this whole situation has almost brought that back to life for me because I remember what that was like, you know, sitting in my house and all of a sudden hearing this boom and thinking, and seeing my cats run down the hallway. And I'm like, what did they knock over? And then going back there to see black smoke coming out of our vents, and my husband running to open the basement door to all of a sudden get consumed by a freaking huge cloud of black smoke, closing the door and being like, get out now. And us having to rush out of our house to look outside to see our garage was on fire. And we lost all three cats that night. We lost everything that we had worked up, you know, up until that point. It was absolutely devastating. I know how it feels to feel helpless. I felt hopeless. I felt angry. I felt sad. I felt so many emotions of like, what are we going to do? What happens next? Why is this happening to us? Why? What did we do? So, if anyone out there is going through this devastation and feeling that, my heart really goes out to you because I get it. And it sucks. It really sucks. But I know as well from coming out on the other side that there is always hope and there is always something better waiting for you, whether you see it now or not. And that things have a way of working out. You will not see it right now. Right now, yes, you are going to feel angry. You're going to feel confused. You're going to feel lost. You're going to feel helpless, hopeless, scared because there is so much uncertainty. But if you can just trust in God, trust in yourselves, take it one day at a time, things have a way of working out, especially when you believe and when you just don't give up. You are here for a reason. You survived this for a reason. God spared you for a reason. So, for anyone out there who didn't get devastation happening to their house or to their family, don't have that survivor's guilt. Don't feel bad. Just use what you can to help others who weren't so fortunate. That's how I'm seeing this. So, anyone who has it on their heart that wants to give, please give. Please help in any way you can. There are so many people out there who've lost everything. Some people out there who have GoFundMe accounts. You do not have to send the money to me. For anyone who does want to, that is absolutely fine. I am using those proceeds to help give back to the community in any way that I can because I love to bless other people, but don't even feel like you have to. There are plenty of people out there you can give straight to them or help donate your clothing or shoes. I mean, people of all ages, sizes, whatever need it. I saw a thing the other day of a 93-year-old man lost everything sitting on the side. I mean, it's devastating. There's people living in tents now, people not even having a place to stay, people who had to be rescued off of their roof. Chimney Rock was completely wiped away, that village. It's so much more than you even realize that's happened. And it's so easy sometimes to see it happening to other places and feel bad for them. But when it happens in your own backyard, like in your own neighborhoods, in your own people, your community, it just takes a whole different toll on you. It just makes you feel, and I feel like I'm that kind of person that I want to do more. I want to help more. I want to do everything that I can. And I have to, even in my own way, just know that I can only do what I can do, and that I'm here for anyone who needs to talk. I'm here for anyone in any way that I can be. But I also know I can't carry the weight of all that either, because it's not mine to carry. But I am here and my heart does go out. And I am praying every day for everyone out there who is suffering, who is struggling because of this devastation. But I also want to honor and admire and thank all you amazing people out there who are stepping up and helping out and being there for one another, who are risking your lives to save others. It is absolutely beautiful. And it's what it's all about. We, the people, need to unite in this world. I mean, there's a reason we were called the United States of America. You know, this one of the reasons why I have a problem with the government is because if you see what they're doing to us, they want to divide us. They want to keep us reliant on them rather than realizing the potential and the abundance that we have within us already. We should be running this country. We as the people should be coming together and loving each other and being kind and helping each other and stopping with the judgment or the forcefulness of expecting everyone to accept you just because you want to be what you want to be. Like, if you love who you are, if you're happy and truly solid in yourself, then you should not need anyone else's acceptance. Just be. Just be. And let that be enough. But don't force other people to look at you or accept you in the way you want to be accepted. Then you're going to be disappointed. People are who they are. And my hope is for us to find a way to get past our differences, because you know what? It's actually our differences that makes us so amazing. It's the different ideas, the different perspectives. If we can find a way to just meet in the middle and just agree sometimes to disagree even, and just still love each other at the end of the day and understand that we all have our own, challenges, our own obstacles, our own everything experience that we're working through, and just love each other anyways. Come from a place of empathy and understanding. Life is about living. It's about experimenting. It's about experiencing things. The ultimate thing I think all are looking for is to be loved, to feel love, to enjoy our lives, to enjoy ourselves. And I think we're so conditioned to do just quite the opposite. And Lord knows society has put this pressure on us that, oh, if you don't believe this way, then you're wrong, you're bad, you're going to hell, or you're this and that. I mean, it's like, enough with this, people. If anything, this hurricane is just another example of how nature is a beast. And if we can't find a way to come together and be there for one another, then it is going to destroy us. It is going to take us all out. That, or a stupid war. And is that how you want your kids to end up? Is that how you want to end up? I'm just so blown away by this whole situation. And I I know that it's good to talk about things, and I want to bring hope to those of you who are dealing with this, whether it's through emotionally or you really physically lost it all. Like, I'm telling you, I know it seems right now that there's no way out of this, but there is. You are here for a reason. You have a purpose still. You must take it one day at a time and just keep going. Things will work itself out eventually. And I know it's going to take time. A lot of places have a long road ahead of them. A lot of people have a long road ahead of them. So please don't be afraid to ask for help. don't allow your ego or your pride to not allow you to accept the help either. Because I know we as human beings can tend to do that too. We feel like we're not allowed to ask for help. We feel like we're not allowed to take things. But if you are someone who needs some help, we're all already struggling just normally in America right now. Inflation's killing us. There's so much things that are really hard on us. So to go through something like this too, it's absolutely devastating. So please, please help and take the help and ask for the help and do what you can to just be as optimistic as possible. I know it seems hard to do, but the more you believe in the possibilities, the more you believe in things working out, the more you believe in your purpose and that you're here for a reason, the sooner you're going to see all the things you need come right to you. You will find your way to it and it will find its way to you. So, again, my heart goes out to each and every one of you who's been affected by this. It certainly has been a roller coaster. Kids have been out of school. They're finally going to be going back with some 2 hour delays. It's going to be a little bit to get them back and readjusted on schedules and everything. I am glad to see that my oldest son has still been able to have his band practice. They have a competition coming up. So I hope for all the kids that they can have some sense of normalcy. I know a lot of these kids probably don't really grasp all that's going on, but I'm just glad to see them trying to get back to things and get back to their schedules, get back to their routines best that they can, and all of us really working to just try to get back to some sense of normalcy. And that's going to be a minute. And that's okay too. Let's have a little compassion for ourselves and understand this is a hard thing. This is not your everyday challenge or obstacle. This is a serious thing, and it is okay to feel it. It is okay to sit with it. Just don't stay there. Find your way out of any darkness that tries to consume you during this time because it's not worth it and it's not going to help you get to where you need to go. So, for anybody listening who wants to help, please do what you can. Reach out to me if you want some information. I'm connected to a lot of local places. I am able to go out and help in any way that I can. So if you're needing information or anything like that, feel free to contact me to see what we can do to help give back to this community. On another end, just keep us in your thoughts and prayers, everybody who was affected by this, and let's all just be here together, support one another, and let's rise together. If there was ever a time for that, it's now. My heart also goes out, my prayers also goes out to anyone in Florida right now because I know Milton's on its way. And I pray and pray and pray that a miracle happens and God just sends that on a different path. But for anyone who is in there, our hearts go out to you. Stay safe. Everyone and everyone out there in this world, just stay safe. God bless. Until next time, much love.